In this chapter, we're going to top stitch our side seams, and we're also going to top stitch all the way around the armholes and the neckline to get this beautiful finish. We're starting at the hem and we're going up, and it's very important that you've turned your pants to the wrong side. Makes it way easier to get into that top part. I mean, it's not impossible otherwise, so always turn it. And use your fingers here, your index and your middle finger, to pull the fabric apart. So I've gone to the top, start again at the bottom and go foot width next to that all the way up. And on the other side, we're going to look at a slightly different method. And you can see this is not so easy to get into. But it's easier when it's turned to the wrong side than, you know, and you're going inwards on it than the other way around. Lock in your stitches. Right, now on the other trouser leg, we're going to go up and over this really thick bit, and you may have to pull a little bit and really force this. The household machine may not want to transport over this, so do it very slowly and really pull the fabric apart and push it a little bit just to make sure it doesn't get stuck. And then when you get to the top here, there's no need to really lock in your stitches. I'm just done it on autopilot. But what you can do is just do a few stitches across and come back down. That way you can leave behind all this tightness at the top, because if it's a small pair of pants, which this is, it's kind of difficult to get into. Although difficult is not the right word, but it's a bit awkward to get into. And so if you come down, you go, phew, that's done now. I'm done with the top part. And you end on the hem, and it's just stunning, especially if you use a light top stitching thread on a slightly darker pair of denim. Doesn't that look fabulous, really? So now I'm going to top stitch from the end of my placket, because the end always gets stuck a bit, so you don't care if you have these tiny little stitches there. And then when you get to the top corner, the upper thread and the lower thread are already hooked together really well, and your machine is much more likely to transport that over the corner point, and it'll look better. And now I'm going around the curve. Try not to lift the presser foot, but do this in one go. Use your left hand to guide the fabric around. There's a lot of force in that left hand. I tell you, I think probably got muscly left hand syndrome from this. And I'm just going to sew across. This is not going to come apart. You can, the frayed edge at the top, you can just cut back later. Absolutely fine. For me, the choice between having that clean and leaving it flat and open was, I'd rather have it flat. Now I'm coming down to the curve here and see if I can get around it without lifting the presser foot. Dun, 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 dun. I made it. So try this. You probably will find your round stitching looks so much rounder than it ever did before. Let me know in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube, of course. And if you're watching this in my sewing course, you can still press watch on YouTube and then leave a comment. I'd really appreciate that. I haven't been uploading stuff publicly for quite a few years now, because I had all my courses set to private, which I quite regret now, because it doesn't matter to me whether you watch the course or not before you buy my patterns, really, at all. It doesn't matter, because the course is always free anyway. But I've done it like that for a few of my collections. So if you're enjoying these instructions, please go and check out all my patterns, especially the summer collection I did, which is called the Vintage Collection. It's very cute. And the baby collection. Most of these videos are private, but the courses are structured just like this one, where you have it step by step, and you really learn so many tips and tricks on how to sew as a pro. That's used to be my first business name. I started off and called myself Sew Like a Pro. Now it's Frocks and Frolics. So yeah, you will learn to sew like a pro with me. So do leave a comment, tell me what you're thinking of this pair of dungarees, and I'm sure you will love this. Again, I'm doing it without lifting my presser foot across the top and round the final curve. There's a lot of top stitching here. What I found, the only difficulty I had in my scatterbrain sometimes was to remember to put the tension back down for the regular stitching I had to do, and then put it back up or change the top stitching thread. There was a lot of change of thread. Now actually I have two sewing machines. Unfortunately one is in the repair shop. Otherwise I could have had one for top stitching and one for regular stitching, because I kept forgetting to change it over and had to go, oh no, let's do it again. Right, we have one more thing we need to do here before we're finished with this, and that is to sew the plackets together. So put the plackets on top of each other and then just sew across the corner. That's it, done. Look at that, just so simple. That's not going anywhere. And there we go. You can see how everything lines up perfectly. And if you've gone to this point now and you're sewing along with me, give yourself a pat on the back. The next bit we're going to do is our hems and the snap placket in here, which is actually quite easy to do. So I'll see you there.